Am I the butthole for refusing to just skip a day of my commitment to 20,000 steps a day just to prove something to my sister-in-law? 5 years ago I made a commitment to get at least 20,000 steps every day, and I've stuck to it every day. It hasn't been easy, but it's something that really felt important to me. I was fat and stuck in a very sedentary lifestyle and mindset. Making the commitment forced me to get off my ass, taking long walks, and then picking up running, and overall being mindful of no longer being a lazy person. I've slimmed down and am overall much happier and healthier than I was, physically and especially mentally. Other side effects are that my home is cleaner, I know more of my neighbors, I've seen a lot of great street art, etc. It's not something that really impacts my day beyond making sure I have the time, but for some reason, it really pisses my sister-in-law off. I don't make a big deal yelling gotta get my steps in every. Hey everyone. My steps. Getting them. Or anything. We were at the park with her kids, she asked me if I was still doing that silly step thing and I said yeah, I felt pretty good about it. She said that she worries about me and how obsessive I am about it. I told her that I don't think I'm obsessive, that it's just part of my daily routine, like taking a shower, or cleaning up. Well, she got all weird and started saying I bet you can't give it up for just one day. Just one day. See, you're addicted. It's an obsession. It's unhealthy. I told her that I'm not addicted, again, the same way I'm not addicted to taking a shower or brushing my teeth. It's just a part of my lifestyle now. That I'm not going to give up and break my streak just to prove a point that would be ridiculous. I suggested maybe she could join me and try it for a few days and she went off saying that I was calling her fat. She went around pestering everyone in the family to challenge myself by taking a day off. She switched her tune and is now trying to guilt me by telling me it's setting a bad, unrealistic expectation for my nieces and nephews. I think that's ridiculous and obviously if I'm doing it, it's not unrealistic. Her biggest complaint is that for the past few holiday meals we've had together, I make a big show of getting up and taking a walk afterwards, like I'm trying to prove something to someone. I told her that it's pretty common, and that some families go on runs together in the morning of Thanksgiving, or take a hike. She told me that I was effectively shaming everyone because they wanted to relax. I think that's ridiculous, but she insists that it's insulting to everyone and makes me an obsessed butthole. AITA? I think it's worth adding that my sister-in-law isn't fat. At least, I don't see her as fat or overweight or anything. Also, I don't have an eating disorder and I'm not replacing one addiction with another, so please stop projecting that onto me. You people are trying to come up with these insane hypotheticals to try to gotcha me because for some reason, you want me to have an eating disorder. So let me clarify one last time, and I won't be acknowledging any comments insinuating that I need to reflect or whatever. I do not have an eating disorder. I do not have an exercise addiction. So now that we have that out of the way. Okay, you guys cannot effing listen. I am logging out. Instead of engaging with me in good faith, you are continuing to try to wrangle me into some scenario where you think I have an eating disorder or exercise addiction. I have said multiple times that these are not issues. Now, why would I continue to say that? Because I have a effing therapist and we have already gone over this. What was that? I have a effing therapist and we have already gone over this. Do you understand me now? Not the butthole, beyond the fact that is your body and your choice. Your sister-in-law needs to mind her own damn business. If anything, you're setting a good example to the kids. It's a healthy and low-impact way of exercise. She said that she worries about me and how obsessive I am about it. Tell her that you worry about her and how obsessive she is about it. Yes. She's more obsessed with your steps than you are. Not the butthole. Haha, yes she definitely is. Not the butthole. First off, good job getting 20,000 steps every day. Secondly, the only person the step thing seems to bother is your sister-in-law. She should be encouraging you to keep going, not trying to get you to stop. She is the obsessive one. 20,000 is huge. That's so good. Right? My goal is 3,000 a day and I don't always get there. I really need to be as committed as op. Because that's what it is, commitment not obsession. Not the butthole. Sister-in-law needs to go for a walk herself and leave you alone. WFH and medical issues and lazy. Seriously. You should ask her if she can just skip a day of obsessing over your steps. This. I quit alcohol for a year, personal reasons, not in response to anything, and I used to get people acting like ops still. It's curious how angry people can get if you do things differently. Not the butthole's sister-in-law needs to deal with her body issues. Yep, just like abstinence from alcohol, insecure people interpret a healthy exercise regimen as a referendum on their own choices. It makes them feel crappy about themselves, so they mock the healthy behavior and peer pressure the healthy person. Sometimes a positive lifestyle change reveals some pretty toxic friends. Stop eating veggies and greens. It's an unrealistic example for kids. You joke, but we've seen that on Am I the Butthole too. Yes, the overweight family that was angry another family member wanted to eat healthier / was being encouraged to do so. That was lol. We're just naturally larger people. Also we eat junk food on the reg. Okay, rolling eyes face. And the mom that was yelled at for sending their kid to school with veggies for snacks. Because it's not normal and not everyone can do it. Of course, they're not okay with mom sending extra to share either, rolling eyes face. Oh, I remember that one. How ridiculous. Sister-in-law is definitely 100% the butthole, but I'm just sitting here imagining what faces any of my family would have after a Thanksgiving dinner and someone stands up and says something along the lines of "Alright guys, I'll be right back, got to walk for 3 hours. I googled steps per hour and the first result is 7,200 steps per hour. Now I wouldn't go as far as saying that's an addiction, but it's definitely a bit of a butthole move to disappear from a family event for 3 hours. It doesn't sound like she's taking off on 3-hour walks but dividing the steps throughout the day and some walks. Yep. I do a min baseline of 20,000 steps every day, more towards 30-35k. It's about 3 hours of walking or exercising to get 20k. I usually split it up, before work, and after, and even during the day if I can. It's not really that hard, you just set aside time for it. I used to do 20,000 steps per day. I miss it but can't find the drive to do it again, plus I don't live in as quiet of an area as I did before. Good on you for keeping it up. Thanks so much. Sometimes I don't feel like it, but it's just something I need to do, especially because we're in lockdown where I live. I do it inside my place mostly, and it's less than 500 square feet. I basically bop around in one spot, do leg lifts and leg kicks, side steps or dance etc. You can still do it. Set aside 15 minutes and start with that. You can always work your way back to it again, and every little bit helps. If you did it before, you can definitely get back into it. She's not getting all 20,000 steps right after dinner. You insert demeaning name here. Most people can get at least 10,000 steps simply by being alive every day if they don't live a super sedentary lifestyle, without ever intentionally going for a walk. I'm sorry, I just can't get over how this must have gone down in your head. Like really? You realize you walk out of your room in the morning, to the bathroom, kitchen, car, to take out the trash, you name it. Like it didn't occur to you she wouldn't need to go for a 3-hour walk laughing my butt off. I'm dying at the lack of common sense here. That's a bit of an exaggeration. 20,000 steps is still a lot. I walk everywhere I go, including a half-hour walking commute to and from work, and that usually gives me about 8,000 steps a day. I've only passed 20k once in the last month, and that was with a concerted couple hours walking to and from the zoo, plus the usual wandering around inside. Again, still not on sister-in-law's side. Ops definitely not the butthole, but they're also probably taking at least a couple hours out for their walking. I've only passed 20k once in the last month. I run or walk most days, and the last time I went over 20k was on vacation walking all day around a city. People think it's easier to get these numbers than it really is. She probably does have to get kind of obsessive about it. Yeah, I agree. I did a step challenge at work a couple times, and it takes a lot of effort to get all the steps in. Granted, I have a completely sedentary job, but I'd basically walk on a treadmill for 3 hours a day to get to 20k. I just do it while watching TV or something. What I can't really believe is that original poster has been doing this literally every day for 5 years. Not one day off due to illness or injury? Not one day off due to a long travel day sitting in the car or on a plane? Never once did all-day thunderstorms or other bad weather interfere? I just have a hard time believing that. A few years ago I challenged myself to go an entire year commuting to work by bike, and I did it, but I had to ride twice in a hailstorm. I toughed it out because I was almost done with the year, just to say I could, but if I'm going to keep riding in weather for years. And I lucked out in that the year happened to coincide with a massive drought. I think it only rained 10 days that year. Holy crap, I totally missed that she's been doing this for 5 years. 20,000 does seem like a lot for an unmissable daily goal. I hit about 8,000 on a normal, pretty active day, but it takes about a 2-hour walk on top of that to get near 20,000. Got to be honest, if someone in my life was that dedicated to something like that, to the point of doing it on holidays and during bad weather, I'd question it a little too. It's like if someone had to do 200 push-ups a day, way better than eating 3 cakes a day, but I wouldn't deny it's not a little obsessive. But as I said, there's worse habits, so if she's happier and healthier, sure. Yep. Even trainers and people with extensive physical knowledge almost always say to have rest days and let your body recover. This is excessive and I do find it concerning behavior, but the SIL went about this all wrong. Exactly. I live approximately 4 kilometers from work and I walk each way, and I take my dog out for 2 walks a day. I still clock just over 10,000 steps. I'm kind of surprised original poster is getting a pass on this. Not only is the exercise somewhat excessive for an every single day goal, but the approach that she's justifying not wanting to take one day off in years because it's just a totally normal routine thing like teeth brushing or showering. In my opinion, sister-in-law is being an butthole about it, but that doesn't make ops behaviors healthy. Side note, I used to have a very strict gym routine. Going to the gym gave me control over my body and made me feel good. When I found that I literally could not justify taking one day off my gym routine without feeling anxious or down on myself, especially on holidays, I realized it wasn't healthy and I knew I needed to dial back. It's good to have goals, but what original poster is doing skirts dangerously close to compulsive behaviors. When I was super fit and worked out, I barely managed to get 12,000 a day, and that was days with an hour of cardio. I used to get 10,000 steps/day when I worked in retail. But good lord, was I tired after a shift. No way I could walk another 10k lol. Were you exhausted after walking 20k steps that day? I mean, a daily run along with standing up and walking around your house and maybe some errands that require walking is enough. Running would be faster than a normal walk. Have you ever tracked your steps when you just walk around inside for the day? I have, and usually it's like less than 1,000? I have today off and have meandered around the house, done an hour of yoga, and my step count is 250 lol. I have a job that has me up and walking between rooms all day long, and I still usually get around 3,000 steps tops from my everyday life. Unless you are walking your commute rather than driving, or making a concerted effort to go for daily walks, most people struggle to get even close to 10,000 steps. I have a toddler, so I usually get at least 8,000 steps in per day without consciously exercising. I also have a dog I walk every day, so that's around 2,000 steps. Most people can get at least 10,000 steps simply by being alive every day if they don't live a super sedentary lifestyle, without ever intentionally going for a walk. Not really, if your job isn't active. I get 5 to 6 without dedicated walks or runs. I got on a 10-11k kick and I had to literally walk around the house in circles at the end of the day to bump it up. Same here. And I even go on walks with my dog. My neighborhood isn't very walkable, so that doesn't help. When I lived in a big city with public transport, it was much easier to get to 10k. She said she also runs, and does housework, etc. I'm guessing she just generally has an active lifestyle, part of which is taking a walk after dinner. Unlike my lazy self who pretty much sits around at my desk all day and clear maybe 1,000 steps from going to the bathroom and checking the mail. But I have cleared around 6k steps just going up and down the stairs, cleaning the house, doing laundry, not being a lazy bum, etc., which was pretty surprising to me. And if I walk down to the corner store, can clear close to 8k without even trying. If I want to hit my 10k goal, I'll need to throw in a half-hour walk, but considering 10k is the recommended minimum for an active everyday lifestyle, I can see how adding in a morning run would likely definitely clear the 20k mark. Assuming she shows up for dinner with a 0 step count then walks for 3 hours after dinner to get all her steps for the day at one time doesn't make any sense. Also, pretty much every guy I've dated, except my current one, It was just routine to go for a walk together after dinner, especially a really big dinner. Which was pretty annoying to me after a nice dinner out and I'm wearing heels, but I digress. Assuming she shows up for dinner with a 0 step count then walks for 3 hours after dinner to get all her steps for the day at one time doesn't make any sense. I'm imagining her being carried from her bed to the table lol. NTA. Sister-in-all was just jelly. Not the butthole. You do realize you're the one who's decided to launch a full-out campaign against me, literally putting one foot in front of the other, right? I don't know what your issue here is, but I refuse to make it mine, so drop the subject. Please. If she won't, then just reiterate that you're not discussing this with her, and block/mute/make alternate socializing plans or be prepared to leave if she starts in as necessary. This emo sister-in-law feels guilty. She's embarrassed she doesn't have the same willpower to commit to ops walking decision. So what? Original poster is supposed to give up a healthy practice because another person feels insecure about their own failings? Ridiculous. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.